Hi, welcome to Poppy's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making chili. And I've made chili for many years. I don't measure anything. I wanted to do this for my kids and grandkids for the future. I like to make a big pot. I have a big 32-quart pot that holds a lot. I like to make it, let it cool down, put it in the refrigerator, and then the next day I like to seal pack it, and it usually lasts us a year or more, or close to it, and then I'll just make another big batch instead of making it all through the year. And it tastes just like the day you made it. I do have 7 pounds of ground meat. That's grass-fed meat that we bought our own half a cow here. I have 2 pounds of ground sausage. That'll go up 9 pounds of meat. I have different colored green peppers. I have different onions here, like red and yellow. I have some poblano peppers that I'm going to roast first that we're going to put in later. I also like to just do canned beans. A lot of people like to do dry beans. I keep it simple. As long as it sits overnight, and the longer it sits, the better. All that flavor is going to come into your beans. But I do like to have light kidney beans, dark kidney beans, white kidney beans, pork and beans, black beans. I have stewed tomatoes, petite tomatoes. I have tomato sauce, tomato paste, and I'm going to try to keep this short as we go along. So I'll just do sections so you can see what we're going to put together. But first, I'm going to get the poblano peppers roasting in the oven, and I'm going to start browning the meat and the sausage together. And then I'll start dicing up the onions and peppers that we're going to put down in that meat too, and let that simmer with some garlic. And I'll come back and explain everything that's going into it. So I'll see you then. Just wanted you to see the meat in there, and I had to have these special long wooden spoons here that I bought. And I have to use a stool, actually, to get up on there to actually look in there. And now the meat's brown. We'll begin adding our ingredients. Okay, so we're done browning the meat, and I drained the grease out of it. And yeah, it was difficult picking up that big pot, but you can do it. Get a colander and a big bowl underneath of it, drain your meat. So that is actually that's the 6 pounds of grass-fed beef that I'm using, 2 pounds of sausage, and the poblano peppers are roasted. It looks something like that, a little charred on the ends. I'm going to go ahead and cut that up. I've got some red and yellow onion. And then we're going to start putting this ingredients in. Okay, so we have all of our onions. We have the red onion and the yellow onion. We have all of our sweet peppers, different colors. And we have our poblano peppers that we roasted in here already. I put 3 scoops of minced garlic. You can use fresh, whatever you want to do. I like this, it's easy. I used a lot, and I scooped the scoops in there. Again, I don't measure, just because I know this pot's big and it's going to fill up. And I put some Worcestershire sauce in there, and I'll probably add some more later. For right now, that's all we have. And now we're going to start adding our sauces, just to get a little bit of a base in there. And then we're going to start building up with the beans. We'll add all of our seasoning in, and I'll just kind of step that through as we go. Okay, we got our stewed tomatoes, petite tomatoes, and tomato sauce. And now I want to show you, sorry about moving that like that, but I have a big mug of very strong coffee, black coffee. And I like to put that right in that base right there before I start adding my beans, okay? Very strong black coffee, 1 giant mug there. Okay, here we go. Light kidney beans. These are the light kidney beans. Dark kidney beans. Now all these I've drained. I would recommend you drain yours. Right now I'm doing 3 cans each. Again, I'm going to eyeball it. Probably go back and add more. Pork and beans. Now that's the only thing I don't drain is the pork and beans. 3 cans of everything here. Right. So far that's 3 cans of light kidney beans, 3 cans of dark kidney beans, 3 cans of pork and beans, 3 cans of black beans, 3 cans of white kidney beans. going to stir that up and look at it, and then we're going to add more stuff to it and probably some more beans. So again, the way I've made chili, I love several different kind of beans, and none of my chilies ever probably been the same because I eyeball it, and sometimes I'll put something different in it, or maybe sometimes I'll put hot peppers in it, or hot sauce, or tomato juice. But today I put stewed tomatoes that had tomato juice in it and some petite tomatoes, so I opted not to do that. So it's hard to tell you what to do because you can make it yourself, your own, and you have to eyeball it. I like a thick chili. I don't like a runny chili. So I eyeball it, and as I build it up, I'm going to add more tomato sauce. I'm going to add tomato paste to thicken it up until it gets to the consistency I want. Now remember, the more it cooks, the more watery it will get. So I guess you could kind of call this Papi's 5-bean chili. But I'm going to show you what that looks like before we go to the next stage. And boy, is it smelling delicious in Papi's kitchen. Okay, so it's now time to add our seasoning. Again, I don't measure. I want to put some more Worcestershire sauce in there. And again, remember, this pot is very big, 32 quarts. It's almost to the top, 3/4 at least or over. So we're going to eye that. Again, with all these canned beans and these ingredients and whatever else we use, tomato sauce, use whatever you want. I have a little bit of store-bought brand. I have a little bit of name brand, but whatever you can afford, whatever you like, use that. I'm using a little kosher salt here. Again, I told you to be careful with the kosher salt. Now this is a big pot, so I know I'm going to be okay right now, but I'm going to put just a little bit of that in there, and then we're going to come back later. We're going to taste it, and we're going to let it simmer for a while, and then we'll put a little bit more, and we'll just slowly do that. That's about the only thing you got to watch. A lot of black pepper. Chili powder, very important. This happens to be dark chili powder. You can find light chili powder, dark Mexican chili powder. There's all kinds. Of course, this is a big pot. I want to make sure I put a good bit in there to start with. There we go. Sage, rubbed sage. We're going to put a little of that in there. I'm going to put a little ground thyme. Parsley flakes. I take the lids off all these. It makes it easier. A little bit of a regular paprika. A few rosemary leaves. And oregano leaves. Okay, so let's give that a big stir there. As you can see, I'm up on my stove. This thing's really gotten full now. This is when it's going to start coming together, now that we got the seasoning in it. I'm going to give this a little bit of time with the lid on it now after I get this mixed, so I can come back and taste it. See if it's too thick, see if it's too thin, see if it's not salty enough, and then see what I need to add to fix that out. And as it simmers, it does get a little more watery. So we want to see what that does. And if we have to, we'll add a little more tomato sauce. Chili's something that you want to take time doing because, again, I like to get this right and let it simmer. And then I like to turn it off and let it cool for several hours and put it in the fridge. And then I like to seal pack it the next day. And it lasts a long time. But you're going to get more flavor by letting that chili sit 24 hours minimum. Even if you make a small patch, make it the day before, put it in the fridge, put a lid or cover it, bring it out the next day, and you're going to find out all these flavors we're going to get inside all those beans and meat and sauce, and they all blend together, and we have that mixed. And that is what we are going to let simmer, and we'll come back and do a taste and see where we're at. We'll be back then. Okay, so it's been about an hour. I stirred it a half hour ago. We're on number 2. I have a gas oven here, just simmering. And you can see, I wanted you to see how liquidy that got. As it cooked down, we got a lot more liquid now than we did. And it was pretty thick when we started. So that's why I like making my chili as thick as possible before I let it simmer, because I know it's going to do this. So now I want to give it a nice stir. Stir that liquid in. And that's looking to be a pretty good consistency right there for me. Because you would stir this before you put it in a bowl. And that is looking just absolutely wonderful. And it smells great. Oh yeah. All our onions and peppers are becoming soft and translucent. Now, we want to get in there and get us a little bit to taste. Now we're going to taste. You got to be careful because it's hot. Let's take a look at that. Some rosemary leaves. That's tasting pretty good. I don't even think I need any more salt. It's almost right there perfectly. But if you thought it needed a little more salt, here's where you add a little more salt. You can add a little more pepper. From this point now, an hour on, it's just going to simmer another hour, and then I'm going to shut it off and let it cool down. If you wanted to eat a bowl here now or even in an hour, that's absolutely fine. But you're going to get a better flavor by waiting at least 24 hours too. So sometimes we'll eat a bowl tonight probably, and then we'll still pack it and then have it whenever we want it. So we will be back when we're finished. Okay, well, we're done making the chili. It's been another hour simmering, and I think it tastes great. And just take a look at that right there. Wow. Amazing. So we ended up with 6 pounds of grass-fed beef, 2 pounds of sausage, one yellow onion, 1 red onion, about 6 different colored bell peppers. I did roast the poblano peppers. There were probably about 4 of them I put in there. I used about 6 1-pound cans of tomato sauce, 4 cans of tomato paste, and then I used equal amounts of 5 cans of petite tomatoes, 5 cans of stewed tomatoes, 5 cans of light kidney beans, 5 cans of dark red kidney beans, 5 cans of white kidney beans, 5 cans of black beans, and 5 cans of pork and beans. And then of course you saw me add the seasoning and let it simmer for a couple hours, and now it's ready to cool down, and we're going to eat a bowl, and I'm going to put it in the fridge, and tomorrow I'm going to bring it out and still pack it, and we're going to have chili for the year. So I also want to make some bread bowls using our easy sourdough discard recipe, and just divide the dough and make them into 3 to 4 bread bowls so we can eat with the chili later on. So that'll be another video I'll post. But again, I didn't measure anything. I never have. But you can start small or big. Look at the meat that you get. If you use 2 pounds of meat, 3 pounds of meat, or like me that put 7 or 8 pounds of meat in there, you're just going to have to eyeball how many peppers you need, how many onions you think you need, how much garlic you want to put in it. And if I put something in it today that you particularly didn't like, then leave it out. And if you can think of something else you'd like to put in it, then do that, because each of my batches are different. And sometimes I'll even put hot peppers in them and hot sauce, and I've made it pretty hot before. And other times I don't, or I'll roast some peppers to change it up a little bit. Or you could roast the red bell pepper. You can leave out things that you don't like, but you can put a lot of stuff in it. And there's a lot of other seasonings you can put in it. But you know, your basic seasoning for chili is going to be a chili powder. So maybe mix a dark chili powder with a Mexican chili powder, or whatever you want to do. But there's so many different varieties you can do. But chili is just awesome, and it goes with so many different things. But thank you for watching. I hope this helps. And if you have any comments, just leave them below, and I will try to get back with you. And God bless every one of you, and thank you for watching.